you go.
Yeah. Okay. AI simplifies.
I simplify.
AI innovates.
I innovate.
AI builds.
I build.
AI educates.
I educate. I empower.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Armand Nagra, and this is Ibrahim Awad. Today, we're going to be guiding you through a consumer journey to really figure out how we're going to explain AI through our premise, I must, I can,
I will. So let's create an outline for the journey we'll be running you through today. So first off, we'll start you with market analysis.
Then we'll go into objectives,
Then we'll go into the Inspire campaign,
simplify,
Build campaign,
media choices,
budgeting.
and finally, success, risk, and ROI.
Before diving into these, we will illustrate to you the journey of I can, I will, and I must. So let me run you through a little bit of market analysis. So the industry analysis. The artificial intelligence industry in 2018 had projected revenues of $3.28 billion. This is something big. This is just the surface. Not your Microsoft Surface, something almost as revolutionary, something big. $4.23 billion. In 2022, that is the expected revenue for the artificial intelligence industry. This is a conservative estimate, not counting the economic productivity and numbers of hours saved. Picture it like this. It's 1848. It's the gold rush. California, they just started getting their gold in Silicon Valley. However, people are just starting to realize Canada is a gold mine. So us at Microsoft, we need to give these people the tools that they need to succeed and find their treasure. So let's look at a few of the big rocks for this industry. $4.5 billion was in equity funding was given in Canada alone in the last 4 quarters for artificial intelligence and startups of this area. That is 471 different deals right there. This is showing what's happening in Canada right now, or a little bit of a snapshot of the industry for Canada and what we can empower and what we can improve. So, however, Canada has an issue. Only 16% of businesses actually employ artificial intelligence, and that number has been stagnant for the past 3 years. 1 out of 100 of the top 100 Canadian artificial intelligence startups has been Canadian. However, and you're wondering, this is an issue. In contrast, that last number, Canada has the 3rd highest concentration of artificial intelligence experts in the world. However, we only have 1 out of 100 of the top artificial intelligence startups. So when we look at this, we need to see the root of the problem is how can we change that? Through the builders. Now let's take you through some competitive analysis.
First and foremost, we have IBM. IBM has IBM Watson, which is widely known for its cloud computing power. IBM recently acquired Red Hat, which further cements its position as one of the strongest competitors out there. Next, we have Google. Google, as you all know, has Google Cloud, which is one of the most widely used platforms not only for consumers, but for corporations around the world. Then, we have Amazon. With their Amazon Web Services platform, Amazon, not only being one of the world's largest multinational corporations, has a platform that is being integrated into almost every other large corporation worldwide, also making Amazon a big player in this field. Now, do each of these competitors provide something for students? Yes, yes, and yes.
Hardware to software.
Online to offline.
Gameplay to game day. Microsoft is there. Microsoft's competitive advantage is it's in every facet of the consumer's life. From your operating system, to your email, to your messaging, to learning Excel the day right before your first co-op. Microsoft is there for so many different opportunities. Now,
we sent out a survey that asked builders to state their attitudes towards different AI platforms. We received the responses over here and evaluated the responses by distributing them into 4 different clusters. This information over here is a little messy, so let's consolidate this on the next slide. That's easier to understand now. The information that we acquired identified that cluster 4 was the most ideal for our marketing efforts. Why am I saying this? Because cluster 4 showcased a greater difficulty in understanding complex AI topics. However, they also showcase a greater desire to learn new things. At the same time, they had a greater inclination to adopt new technology. Cluster 4 was relatively younger than the other three groups. At the same time, they had a greater probability of having more computer science students than the other three clusters, making them our ideal group. So, taking this information together.
So now let's look at a little bit of the demographics and habits. After we looked at our cluster, we saw there's 42.4% visible minority in this, showcasing that this is a group of the world. 35.6% of these individuals currently take public transit, which also showcases another area that we can hit them through the medium. And over 267 minutes of internet usage per day is seen in this group, allowing us to see that internet advertising would be a good facet right there. And also another key factor that we've also noticed is, of our group, 41.3% of these individuals play video games. So the game, if we add a gamification twist to this can actually have strong dividends.
We also asked consumers how they would rate other brands of AI through their perception. We identified that Microsoft, Apple, Google, IBM, and Amazon would be rated on the scale. This will be rotated, by the way, on a 3D thing.
So it'll be a 3D positioning.
Yeah. Let's consolidate this on the next slide. The information you see here is essentially why we think Microsoft is where it's at that map. Microsoft, similar to Google and Apple, has high product and brand familiarity. Consumers know what Microsoft's all about. At the same time, they have relatively average ease of use. That's not a problem. However, the reason why Microsoft's AI platform has low awareness right now is because consumers are simply not familiar with Microsoft's AI products. We know this information already, but let's change that.
Something that we've noticed, one of our key insights, is students don't know what they don't know. Sometimes you can have, for example, in school, sometimes you can be going through an amazing lecture, but you're a little bit behind, and you don't know what question to ask, but you don't know what the topic is about. So you really don't know what you don't know and those key factors that you need to go after. And all of this and all these insights boil down into one individual that we can take you through the journey of. Meet Clara.
Clara is a 20-year-old computer science student from the University of Toronto, Scarborough. She has a lot of questions about AI. She really wants to know more, but she just doesn't know where to get the help from.
Let's change that.
That's where Microsoft can step in.
So let's run you through a little bit of the objectives right here to give you the framework of the campaign and what we'd like to hit. So, in development. So, usage and development. We want to increase the usage and development by 15 to 25%. And what that'll look like is having more individuals using the Microsoft Azure suite, either for building their own projects, either through usage in class usage and curriculums, and also usage inside our third campaign. So awareness and value. We want more individuals to know that Microsoft Azure is there. Microsoft Azure is an opportunity for them to learn more, and they can learn how to apply it further in their career. And also increase the number of artificial intelligence users. So what this will do is kind of build category growth. As we at Microsoft believe in empowering everyone, even if it means improving the category as a whole, improving the pie as a whole is also in our goal of finding future technologies. So the next thing that kind of trickles down from that. With that, we'd want to increase the consideration and intent. We want more individuals to be further along that funnel of looking at Microsoft Azure and saying, hey, I would like to try that. Get incremental growth. Through this category growth, what we'll actually be doing with our market share is also building the pie as a whole, as I said, and also capturing more of that. With our strong branding and awareness, we will be able to capture more of that pie. So that also leads into establishing Microsoft as the thought leader in this market. Because Microsoft will be leading this market, will be growing the category, will be providing all these educational programs for these individuals. That is one of our main objectives. So one thing that we've noticed, modesty in a way limits knowledge. So many individuals place their product as something that is very simple. If you look at your phone, or if you look at your mobile assistant, that is natural language processing. That is creating a neural network of different options and opportunities for the code to actually act like a human. But People only know that as their mobile assistant. So let's take a look at a Deloitte survey. 1,000 individuals were surveyed in Canada. Only 13% of them say they interact with artificial intelligence every day. And another key insight from that is 76% of the market either has an iPhone or an Android. But those have mobile assistants. Hey Siri, Bixby, Alexa, and does that sound right? But you were gonna have Siri's like the voice assistant saying no, no, and no, and then then the next thing that we're going to say. This is somewhat of a paradox right there, because the most prominent technology ends up interweaving itself into the lives of the consumer, into the fabric of your everyday life, and you will not even notice it's there. Artificial intelligence is something that big, but we need to get more people to make it bigger and make it better. So we need more individuals to actually know how to use it when it's there to start applying it more. So just as Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator, we will be going against the grain and opening the eyes of the consumer, not in the way that he has, but showcasing what artificial intelligence is and showcasing the frameworks behind it. Oh, wrong. So, as Satya Nadella's goal is to empower every person and organization on this planet to achieve more. That is what we really, really want to do with our goal right here. We want to follow our Microsoft values and apply this and learn from it and increase the category as a whole. We want to help Canada with this issue. We want to change that issue by starting with the builders, the individuals, where all of this technology trickles down from. So, here's the big picture. 52-week journey. Gamification, interactive, and engaging content. All this will be the 3 prongs of our campaign. Through a 52-week journey of awareness, our gamification with Microsoft League, interactive and engaging content with a more so the I Simplify campaign. We'll take you through that.
This timeline, subject to color change, should give you an overview of the 3 prongs of our campaign: AI Inspire, AI Simplify, and AI Build. Each of these prongs will target a different subsection of the marketing funnel. Each one, in the end, will seek to empower the consumers. Let's start off with the first activation point. The whole purpose of AI Inspire is to lay the groundwork for the rest of the campaign. It makes the most sense for this to be a year-long initiative. So, posters will be released. One set of posters will be released every 4 weeks from week 1 all the way to week 52, totaling 13 sets. Each will target a different subsection of the total builder population. First we'll have everyone, then marketing, computer science, and then engineering. However, we realized that from our cluster analysis, the computer science students would be the most ideal to target to. So let's view this through the lens of Clara.
So right there we'll have, like, as we said, like the mock-ups of what Clara's posters will be. And our whole goal for that part is to take them through the eyes of that consumer. So this is what Clara would see. This is what Clara would see on the subway. This is what Clara would see on social media. And this is something that would be a call to action to Clara, because she wants to learn. She has this key characteristic that makes her wonder why, how, bigger, better.
For the first 2 weeks of the campaign, first 2 weeks of each section of the campaign, consumers like Clara can submit their personal stories to Microsoft's online platform. An online portal will be opened up, asking consumers a wide array of questions, such as, to Clara, how do you think AI is transforming your life on a day-to-day basis? Clara will see this poster, get incentivized by seeing the Surface Pro promotion as the incentive for submitting the story, and will write down what she thinks. After 2 weeks, the top 10 are selected from a subject matter expert at Microsoft, and then the next 2 weeks are just dedicated to community voting. So everyone who submitted a story now gets to go back onto the platform and vote for their favorite story. The story that has the most votes at the end of the 4 weeks gets the Surface Pro laptop. Referring back to our poster, you're not at the Surface yet, but you could have one, showcased in all transit subway ads.
So again, this would be
Yeah.
the example of like the voting platform, and like, let's say what the landing page would look like. So, appreciation and preliminary understanding of AI. That is what the main thing that we want to get out of Inspire is. We want more people to appreciate what it actually is, appreciate the technology, and get that call to action, and also get a little bit of a baseline understanding. So, this is the activation point 2. I simplify, or should I say AI simplify. As we know, this is the X factor. We did not rename the heading for that slide. It may or may not be like that for the final presentation.
Yeah. It's something.
It is something.
Yeah.
But
The purpose for the second part of the campaign now is to capitalize on all the awareness and preliminary understanding of AI that has been developed in the first prong of our campaign. AI Simplify will seek to make consumers appreciate and further understand how AI is changing the world around them. So each video released from week 4 to week 10 will target a different subsection of the builder audience again. Each will be around 60 seconds long, and each will be, you know what? Instead of explaining this, why don't we just show you? I'm going to open this. This video will actually come up.
It'll be
Yeah.
embedded.
yeah, we're gonna try and get it embedded in the in like a Microsoft Surface just to show, and then it swoops in and then video on Microsoft product as well. So like, I thought that was cool. We thought that was a cool idea. It's having some technical difficulties here. This isn't part of it. We may.
This won't be
While,
part of the
we're
while,
not-
you guys, while you guys pull that out, I have a little bit of trauma from failing to embed YouTube videos. I failed at it in a class presentation.
The
You
video's
should
up.
have a contingency plan in case it doesn't play or something goes wrong with the video. Just letting you
We
guys
act out the story where that's what we thought.
Yeah.
That's literally what we
Just
thought.
have it, I'll
Just
tap.
have that link open.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
We're gonna have that link
You
open.
can
We'll
quickly
back.
switch to it and carry on.
I'll tap it.
Yeah.
It's your best friend.
Come on, you're being.
AI, it's such a big thing in the industry nowadays. I'm almost scared to ask what it means because everyone will be like, what? Do you not know what AI is?
AI has the power to revolutionize the way us as marketers work on a day-to-day basis. You know, it's amazing. It's impacting us in so many ways. Actually, I'm not quite sure how, but I'm sure it's just profound.
When I think of AI, I think of robots and like world domination. You know those like automatic vacuum machines that have their own type of thinking. Does it play a big role in society as we're going forward into the future?
Why should I care about AI?
Why is it important to computer science students? How does it even work?
Why is this such a buzzword?
I want to know how it's going to affect my field in the next 5 years. Is it going to start writing code for me?
This video will give you an indication of what our entire campaign is about. It's okay to not know much about AI. Microsoft is here to help fill that void.
So I also need to make sure if we do the alt tab, I don't do that.
Yeah.
As long as you don't exit the slideshow, it'll stay full screen.
Yeah.
If you
And
don't
just in
finish.
case, whatever slide you're on, just click play from current slide.
Yep.
Not from beginning.
Oh. All right. This is a little awkward here.
To the right of it.
And if they're innovators, they don't follow instructions.
First.
Yeah, we're gonna present it online.
Huh?
So.
Oh, that's the timer on.
Keep this.
Go back, go back.
Okay. Oops. Do not worry. This will 100% not happen during the.
Yeah. 100,000%. So what was it saying?
If it does, it was a non-Microsoft product,
Yeah.
that's what you said.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Sorry, what?
If it does, it was a non-Microsoft product, that's what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Actually, this is a Mac
weak
button.
link.
Like we do like a really dumb mistake. Sorry, I'm a Mac user.
Don't do it.
No,
you went too far. Don't do it.
No. You gotta not like
all the individuals that are actually Mac users in there will be like 0.
Just say non-Microsoft.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah. The whole purpose behind this video is to empathize with the consumer, to show them that it's okay to not know much about AI. This is our ultimate pull factor. Yes, sir. So with each video, we'll be promoting a simple URL at the end of it. There will be a button over here that shows what I'm talking about. But once consumers click on this button, it'll say Simplify AI Now, and will lead them to a landing page.
And then,
Back.
okay.
So there's 2 slides that say keep the slide.
Yeah.
It will lead them to a landing page that covers 3 things: workshops, the Microsoft League, and community challenges. The AI workshops now will be held from week 13 to 31, alternating every single week. Every single AI workshop will target a different point about AI to round out the knowledge of what consumers can expect AI to be about. Every single workshop will be inspired from Khan Academy's widely successful platform. All we need is a simple narrator, a PowerPoint deck, a whiteboard, and some markers. Each workshop will be roughly 1 hour long, followed by some Q&As to drive home audience engagement. An online recording will also be available afterwards for everyone that may not have been able to participate initially.
So let's look about Microsoft League. So this is a community forum integrating Microsoft's existing opportunities in there. So how this will work is we'll have questions on computer science topics, or general business analytics topics, or business intelligence topics. So where it's kind of derived from is something that tends to happen nowadays is if you have a coding question, you Google it, and then you go to Stack Overflow. And at Stack Overflow, you found a repository of all these different coding issues or people having trouble with a certain type of language. And what we've learned there is this created a community of people learning. We can integrate that. Through this, we'll create a platform where individuals will get points for answering these questions. Individuals will get points for asking these questions. Individuals will get points for attending those workshops, listening to those workshops. And this will be education through a collaborative and, as we say, judgment-free environment. This is because although whatever question you're having, one of the biggest emphasis, the thing that we will emphasize the most is somebody else has probably had this question, or somebody else has this question. Why not ask it?
To round out this point of the campaign now, Clara needs an incentive. She's attended the workshops, and she wants to learn more. She's looked at Microsoft League, but she's kind of iffy about the whole thing still. So, what better way to incentivize her than using gamification? This is where the leaderboards come in. Community Challenges will be an online platform held every 4 weeks from week 14 to the end of week 32. There will be 5 seasons of Community Challenges, each 4 weeks long. So, as soon as Clara attends a workshop or a webinar, she's awarded 1 experience point. Every time she posts a question on Microsoft League, she's awarded 2 experience points. And every time she answers a question on Microsoft League, that's 3 experience points. This is capped off at a maximum of 20 questions per season, and the scores are averaged to keep engagement high throughout the season. Community challenges will be reset 4 different times to ensure that whoever may not have won in the first season can participate again and again and again. This is education through competition. Now, the top 3 winners of every single season of community challenges will get some cash prizes, but at the same time will also be awarded an all-expenses paid trip to Microsoft's next Envision conference. This will tie together their entire AI education in a way that's collaborative, competitive, and hands-on.
They'll get to see the keynotes from the best Microsoft speakers in the world, people through all of the different aspects of Microsoft business. As we know, for Microsoft Envision, we do have a lot of people who have applied our product into their business and saw massive dividends. So this will be another place where they can hear about that.
At the end of this part of the campaign, we want to show that, again, it's not bad. It's okay to not know what AI is. Microsoft is here to help. We want Clara to know that. Right after this, I must, I can, and I will be able to learn more about AI through Microsoft's Community Challenges platform, workshops, and Microsoft Lead. But you know what? She might be thinking, I just wish there was something else, something more hands-on that I can really wrap my hands around and tie my education together. This is where the third part of our campaign comes in. AI Build. The inspiration behind this
is through marketing competitions. For example, Canada's Next Top Ad Exec. We can rewrap it and call it Canada's Next Top Tech Exec. So, startup industry, looking at Y Combinator, and looking at the different infrastructure that they had for creating these very high valuation startups. Hackathons, our Microsoft Imagine World Cup. As something that we've noticed is some individuals fret away from the Imagine Cup due to the high stakes, the high prize pool. And what we want to do is we really want to encourage those individuals to say, hey, if you feel like you cannot participate in this, we also have something for you as well.
So while this is the point of the presentation where things get kind of iffy, so we still have to fix some of this stuff, but we'll guide you through the rest of it how we would present it.
If you as in you haven't finalized it, or if you as in
Like the-
No, we have the background
Yeah.
information, we just haven't
Okay.
finalized how we're going to say it and put it on the slide and present it.
Okay, thank you.
So what this kind of is it's to have individuals apply what they've learned through their workshops. So this is the marketing plan. This is something where they'd also require a business student to be involved in this competition. So this is taking that startup aspect and also including some of the things that we've actually had in some of the things that we've actually even had in the bridge is some of the stuff that we've also kind of taken a little bit of an interest from, with this fact that there's these modules that have you go through the actual feasibility or how the validity of your marketing plan, is there actually a demand for this and stuff like that. So the end is going to be something kind of like you send in your PowerPoint presentation and a camera recording with your written report. So that is where it's kind of a little bit like Y Combinator, where you have that application process to do it, and you also get judged off that application process. And so what we really want to encourage is the use of Microsoft products for this specifically. We want them in the Microsoft ecosystem to be learning our languages, our tools, what we have on our Azure, our machine learning studio, Kubernetes, whatever. So
Yeah, this part of the campaign will also release posters that, for example, target, you have a fear of missing out? AI leads to the birth of 5 new unicorns every single month. Don't miss out. Some of the incentives to participate in the third prong of this campaign include a mentorship. So the winners of the Empower competitions will receive mentorship with Microsoft C-suite executives, cash prizes, seed capital to start up their new venture, and then finally connections with Notman House,
and also Mars Discovery District. As we've noticed, some of the things is, although having the credits is good, or although having the credits and encouraging them to use that, sometimes individuals would appreciate cold hard cash, as this is something that they can use to the many different facets of their business and also let them apply. So
it's time to put the power in the hands of the builders themselves. This is what the third prong of our campaign will achieve. Now that we've taken you through a journey, you can see that the first part of the campaign, Inspire, really targets the awareness section. This is where people learn more about what AI is about. Simplify is when they start participating more in the programs, workshops, community challenges, and they start putting their awareness to the test. We round out this by giving the power to them themselves. They can make their own AI platforms, submit their pitches, and compete with hundreds of other students from around Canada to really put their AI education to the test. Okay, so now is the tricky part of the presentation, because this all starts getting really
numbery. Lots of numerics, yes.
So I'll guide you through this. To get to the number of conversions, we figured out that 15% to 25%, that 10% incremental increase was what Microsoft gave us, by the way, that they wanted to achieve this. So to get that 10% incremental increase, we went on StatsCan and figured out how many builders in our target age range would exist in Canada right now, which is around 4 million, 4.5 million. The number of, sorry, that's not the number of builders, that's the number of students. The number of builders is around 2 million. And these are the number of students. Of those,
It's like, oh my gosh.
it's okay. Of those, we then boiled it down a little further and then figured out a 10% increase would result in around 65,000 conversions. Transit advertising now is one method that we'll use a lot. So TTC, the Toronto Transit System, Vancouver, Calgary, Montreal, all these platforms commute millions of consumers every single day. TTC, for example, is wildly successful at this. However, the TTC has a problem. For 20 to 30 consecutive minutes at a time, consumers are just held underground. They have no access to cellular data, they have no Wi-Fi connection at all. They're just stuck around, waiting, looking at each other. This part is what we'll capitalize on. This is where posters come into play. When consumers are looking around the subway and they see Microsoft's ads up there around the subway in front of them, they'll start engaging with it more. This part of the presentation now, by the way, will have one person looking at a poster. The next image will be him looking at the poster on the phone, and the last image will be him typing something out on the phone.
So a real focus on that. This one is the fact is Microsoft has a lot. I mean, TTC has the longest average commute time in the world. Let's take advantage of that. Even though people will have some headphones in and etc., they can still look around. And then the percentage of people that are actually downloading videos and watching them on the subway is actually still relatively low. But there's still a lot of people looking at articles. But when you try and go to that next article, you have no data.
Guys, this next part, can you wrap it up quickly?
Okay.
Because I want to make sure you guys have enough time to hear back from your audience.
Yeah.
Okay, we can trans advertising numbers, 60, blah, blah, blah.
Numbers behind why we did that. Media effectiveness. We also looked at what our media mix was in the percent, how it'd be. Promotional mix. We looked at the combination of Facebook and Instagram and noticed that it was the cheapest option from a cost effectiveness basis for us to look at the 70-30 perspective. Then we go into the budgeting. We were gonna have this. We were gonna actually move this to the appendix and set up the questions for financial analysis, and then just take those home at the end, so that we don't really get too many questions on other things, and it looks like we were really ready for that, and we answered the questions that they had.
Yeah. So what you see over here is not going to be on the actual deck. These are just a lot of numbers. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yep. So it's like pretty much explaining the whole reason why we're doing the campaign, what we have in our contingency fund, everything like that. And then so measures of success and ROI. So how we were looking at that was looking at the community submissions, looking at the number of challenge participants, and the empower pitches. And what we look at is we'd see kind of in a way the conversion rate between these ones, because if like the community submissions has a lower bar of entry, again the challenge participants even higher, and then the empower pitches an even higher bar of entry. And we'd also look at that and correlate it at the end and say, okay, these are the same amount. This is the amount of people that did the community submissions pitch. These are their emails, or this is what their ID was, and then the amount of conversion going forward and forward throughout the names through like text analytics. So, and then risk countering. So this is preventative post action and pre-campaign. We're looking at that. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? ROI. So we did.
I think we're gonna
We
come
trust your
back
numbers,
and-
man.
I think we're
We
gonna
did
come
6
back and
assumptions
talk
over.
about this, because I think there's gonna be some questions on that too.
Yeah.
But can we just start the?
Yeah.
I don't mean to cut you off.
No worries.
But
It's
but
over.
I think the feedback is kind of important for you.
Yeah.
So let's just start.